Hello, everybody, and welcome to this new episode of 1897. Today, I've got a special guest, Fumane, coming from, actually sitting today in his car in South Africa. So, Fumane, welcome to this podcast. Happy to have you here.
Thank you, Bruno. I'm a great fan of your show.
It's a pleasure. Actually, you did contact me a few weeks ago to talk about our new player at Union, Mofokeng, who's coming from your country. And the reason also is that because you are also holding a podcast in South Africa, and your podcast and your YouTube channel is dedicated to the Orlando Pirates, which is the previous club of Mofokeng, right?
Yeah, 100%. That is true.
I've got a first question, because we have a lot of fans also in Belgium of Union who are really interested to know who is Mofokeng and what kind of player he is, because as you may know, he has played a little bit so far, but not very much. He played some pieces of match. What he's shown so far at Union was very good. To be fair, he already scored one goal in the league, and also he scored the winning penalty in the Super Cup, as you may have seen. So, but maybe if you can explain a little bit who is Mofokeng.
Yeah. Thank you, Bruno. So, Mofokeng is, as you will have seen on the Union page. I don't know if you follow that, if you watch the comments. There's a lot of love for Mofokeng from South African fans. He is a very bright prospect of the country. South Africa has struggled a little bit lately in recent years, maybe let's say in the last 10 years, produced special players who go and play in Europe. And so he's someone who, ever since he broke through, he's someone, when he left Orlando Pirates, we have high hopes for him. He's still only 21 years. If he does the right things in his career, everyone in the country has hopes that he's going to be someone who's going to lift the flag of South Africa very high, because like I said, recently we've struggled with good players on the international stage who are putting South Africa on the map. But he's one of, I think, the one or two players or three right now in Bafana, the South African national team, who the whole country loves him. He's got a bright future ahead of him. So, that's who he is to the country. He's the hope of South African football, inspiring a lot of young players right now who are seeing that it's possible through, dedication, love for the game, that it's possible. You could find yourself in Belgium, in Brussels, am I right? That's the city.
Yes, in Brussels, in the capital of Belgium, that's right. Yeah. Well, to be fair, I'm quite confident for his future, because our club, Union, is very, very good at finding young talents in a very early stage, and then to, let's say, build up their career in order to make the next step. So the club has a very strong data-driven system where they can analyze all the players, and when they buy a player, 9 of the 10, they after 1 or 2 years, they make a very big transfer to a higher competition in Europe. Because in Europe, Belgium is like a kind of intermediate competition, so it's not it's not a weak competition, it's quite a strong competition. Yes. But it's not one of the top competition like the UK or Germany or Spain. So it's a bit like in between, which is a perfect step for a young player like Mofokeng to make his first career in Europe, and then he will grow up and he will eventually end up in a bigger league. And by the way, he's not the first South African player who played for Union, because we had when Union was playing in the second division, we had Persito, who was also playing for Union.
So Persito was one of the other ones who, I think in that spell of maybe 10 years, had found his way to Europe. I think he spent a season on loan at Union. So we know a bit about Union as South African fans because of Persito, but I know that Persito wasn't a permanent transfer there. And then I don't know if you remember, Bruno, we had Andile Jali as well, played for, what is his team again? He played in Belgium. This must have been around 2011. Yeah, 2011, Andile Jali. I think he played for KV Ostende. How do you say that?
Ostende. Yes, KV Ostende, yes.
Yeah, he played.
The club doesn't exist anymore, by the way.
Oh, interesting, really?
Yeah, they've been bankrupt some years ago. Also, we had, recently we had the trainer of, the coach of Bafana. Bafana is a Belgian guy, Hugo Broos.
Hugo Broos as well.
Who had he had a very long career in Belgium.
Yeah.
He used to be a player as well in a very long time ago.
Yeah.
Very good defender, and now a very good coach.
Yeah.
But just to come back to Mofokeng, so as you are a specialist of Orlando Pirates, so when did he join this club? And is this club playing like in the Premier League of South Africa? Can you tell a little bit more? Because in Belgium, I think it's not very well known.
Yeah. So Orlando Pirates, firstly, I'll start there and then I'll get to when Mofokeng joined. Orlando Pirates is maybe one of the biggest teams in Africa. So in the Champions League of African football, it's called the CAF Champions League, standing for Confederation of African Football. It's like the UEFA Champions League in Europe.
Yes.
So every year, Orlando Pirates is competing in that competition. I think in the last 5 years, Pirates has played every year in that competition. And it was 2 years ago, we lost out in the semi-finals of that competition. So very competitive African team. Has won the Champions League but it's been a while now. Won the Champions League in 1995. So yeah, it's a competitive African team. But in South Africa, it's one of the top 3 clubs. If you did manage to follow the World Cup, obviously South Africa played the first game in the World Cup. So that squad of the South African national team consisted of about 8 Orlando Pirates players. It's a good team in Africa and in South Africa. Mofokeng joined in 2022 as a youngster, but before that, he was part of one of the best academies in the country. So he was developed from about age 12, 13 till about age 18 in the best academy in the country. It's called the School of Excellence. So he got his football education in one of the best schools in football in South Africa, and then was scouted by Orlando Pirates. Pirates bought him and put them in their development structure in the country. For only a year, he played there for only a year in the first team, and the coaches thought he was ready. In fact, that was the contract that he had actually signed with Orlando Pirates. So Pirates was competing with another big club, which is Sundowns, for his signature. Sundowns won the Champions League last year of Africa, so just to give you a bit of context. So Pirates was competing with Sundowns for his signature as a teenager. His parents, who have been his representatives for a long time, his agents, wanted clear development pathway into the first team. And Pirates were offering that, only keep him for a year in the development and make sure that after a year he would get his senior debut. So yeah, in 2023, he made his senior debut for Orlando Pirates. He was 18 going to 19 at the time. And ever since then, he's been a regular. Played about 2 or 3 seasons for Orlando Pirates. And he has left a superstar of the club. I don't know if you've been following, he left as player of the season in the Premier League.
Yes, I saw that. Yes.
Player of the season, young player of the season, players player of the season, and top goal scorer at the club. Scored 12 goals. So yeah, in terms of his pathway, it's kind of how it went in a nutshell. There's obviously a lot in between in terms of like style of play, where he was playing when he started. I think Union fans, you might know him as a central attacking midfielder, but he was a wide player, a left winger. He was playing on the left.
Okay.
Similar style of play I usually think of him as Neymar in the country, a star man usually in the team, even in the development team, always looking to make things happen. So he's the guy you give the ball to and attract about 4-3 markers and open spaces everywhere in the pitch because he's just a magnet towards the ball and he's a magnet for oppositions. And so he knows how to make things happen. And so that's in a nutshell who Mofokeng is. Tell me, Bruno, if there's anything particularly interesting that...
you already answered my question because I wanted to know what is his best position on the field.
Yeah.
And I'm happy to hear that he was already playing at a very high level because, as you mentioned, Orlando Pirates is a very strong club in Africa. So I think the transition for him will be probably easier than for some other players because Union is also used to buy players from very low division. So, for example, one of the strikers in the team is coming from 4th division in Germany, for example. Also, in the past, we used to buy players from lower division. So the fact that Mofokeng has already played at a very high level with the Pirates, I think it's a strong asset for him.
Yeah, And he's made 3 appearances in the World Cup as well.
Yes.
He didn't play in the first game, opening game of the World Cup, but second game he played a half, 45 minutes, and in the third game he played the entire game. So he's someone who's got a little bit of experience at his age, has also played in the equivalent of the Euro for you guys that side, which is the African Nations.
Africa Cup, yes.
Yeah, so he's also played in the Africa Cup of Nations, age 2019. He was already involved in that competition. So I do agree with you that it will be a step for him, obviously, coming to Belgium. But he's someone who's been prepared for this step. In fact, a lot of South Africans think that Mofokeng moved 2 years late to Europe. Already after one season with Orlando Pirates, the first team, we thought that he was going to be the first one to leave in the age group of the players that were promoted with him to the first team. But obviously, football, it doesn't work out like that. You need a bit of luck. But I do think the move happened at the right time. He's ready for the step.
Yes, I think it's good, because if you leave too early, sometimes you don't have enough maturity, and I think 21 is a perfect timing for him actually to go to Europe. And the fact that he's already playing some pieces of matches is also a good sign, because he's getting the trust from the coach. And usually Union is buying players, and then sometimes it takes 6 months before they are really playing a lot of match, and then they become a very strong player in the team. But here he's playing already from the start, so I'm looking forward for this weekend, because we are playing now on Saturday, the first match against Zulte Waregem, which is another Belgian team. So first game of season at home. So we play in our stadium. So that will be also. I hope he will play, or at least he will come on the field, because all the fans want to see him playing in our stadium. So that will be great. But he's very popular, and especially in South Africa. That's clear. We can see that.
Yeah.
So, for example, the social media of the club has exploded with the number of followers from South Africa, and everybody's calling president. Can you explain why he's called president?
Yeah, so he is called president because, actually the full name, President Yama, which means he's the president of the 2000s, so all the kids born from 2000 growing up. And the reason he was given that name is because in that age group, he was born in 2004. So in that age group, and the kids around his age, he was always considered the best of that group of young players in South Africa. So that's why he was called the president of that age group. So in full, it's president of the 2000s, but in short, it's president. So that's how he's gotten that name. That's where it comes from. It's because he's the president of his age group.
Okay, that's a very good information, because we are all wondering why is he called president. So that's quite funny. But it's good. But we are very happy to have him here in Belgium in Union.
Yeah.
And so how is maybe not directly related to Mofokeng, but as you are a specialist of the Orlando Pirates, how is the team doing now after the departure of Mofokeng?
Yeah, very good question, Bruno. This is actually very topical on my podcast as well. Just the gaping hole that Mofokeng has left in the squad. Like I said, he finished last season as the top goal scorer, and ever since Mofokeng made his debut, he's become a regular of the Orlando Pirates first team. And the other thing which is positive about Mofokeng is that he's hardly ever injured. So he's that player who plays very durable. He takes very good care of himself, very disciplined as well. Yeah, so losing someone like him, Pirates has been struggling to score goals lately. It's becoming even more evident. One thing that was concerning for us last season was that our strikers were not scoring. When your wingers, your wide players are scoring, it doesn't put so much, highlight on the strikers. But with the departure of Mofokeng, his 12 goals have now gone to Belgium. Yeah, I beg your pardon, we miss his goals. And Pirates are still playing really well because it's a good team, and they don't become a bad team suddenly by losing one player. He is a special player who influenced a lot of the way that we played. When he left Pirates, he was playing where he's playing, I think, at Union as a number 10 or central attacking midfielder. And it's the player that is playing now is very different to him. brings very different qualities to the team. Mofokeng's quality is he's very good in tight spaces. So, he's very intelligent, very good footwork. So very good at receiving in those tight spaces and turning, playing through passes, that kind of thing. And yeah, so the quality of Mofokeng is missed, but he's also got an eye for goal as well. So yeah, we miss him quite a bit at Orlando Pirates, but I can tell you that we are happy for him. We wouldn't take him back. We want him to flourish to Union and in Belgium.
Yeah, but that's good. That's good. That's good. That's good to hear.
Yeah.
Well, we are happy as well. And I wish a good luck to your team. I hope they will win. They will win the league this year, and that they go very far in the Africa Champions League, and maybe they will win. And I don't know the South African football very well, but I can imagine that there is a lot of young talents in the country that will probably raise and you will have new Mofokengs coming in the future for sure.
100%. Yeah, there are a lot of them coming. I do have a question for you, Bruno. I think you already touched on it that, a lot of you guys, the fans of Union, you're excited to see and that the fact that he's already getting opportunities in the first team is a good sign. What has been your overall impression of him, like the way that he plays? Do you see him fitting into the style of play of Union? And is there a place for him in the starting 11? Is there somewhere where he clearly fits if he continues to develop?
Yeah, I clearly see a potential for him to be in the starting team in the future. We expect some departure as well because the mercato, the transfer market is closing beginning of September in Europe, and we expect some players to leave the club, unfortunately, but the club is always, let's say, anticipating. So to prepare, they know in advance, okay, this player will probably leave, so we need to have a good replacement. And Mofokeng is one of these players who are there to be like one of the key player in the future. But it might take some time. But I think looking at the style of the team, that Union is a team who plays high intensity. It requires high intensity from the players. So it's quite physical, but at the same time with a good mix of very technical players as well. So I think he will fit into that. But it will not be easy in the beginning because I cannot compare because I don't know the football in South Africa, but in Belgium the football is very physical, very high intensity, a lot of contacts. So you really need to get used to this kind of football. It's not easy. It's not an easy competition. But everybody knows and sees that he has the quality to be successful. So I think, we need to be patient. I know that because sometimes I read some comments from the fans in South Africa. They say he needs to play immediately, but that it will come. It will come, and when he will be in the starting 11, I'm sure he will make very strong impression. And the fact that he's already getting playing time now, just after he started at Union, is a very good sign, I would say. Yeah. Because as I mentioned in the past, we used to have very strong players who had to wait like 6 months or maybe 1 year to be one of the starting players. Yeah. So he's already probably in advance on the expectation.
Yeah. And tell me this, Bruno, where do you think is his best position?
I haven't seen playing so far, but I would say, maybe on the wing, but on the wing because he played on the left wing or on the right wing in Africa?
He played on the left wing. And then moved
on the left because on the left we currently have a very, very good player, a Brazilian player called Guilherme Smith. So I don't think he will take this position. So probably we'd start we always play with two strikers, maybe like a second striker or like a number 8 in the midfield. It will probably depending on which position is available in the beginning. But I think, knowing how the club works and think probably next season he might be the main player on the left wing because the Brazilian player is there for 2 years, probably will leave at the end of the season for a very, very good price, and then Mofokeng will be there the main player. But in the meantime, the good thing is that he can play at different positions. So it's also a strong point for him because he can be as a second striker, be on the wing, be in the midfield. So that's good.
Yeah. I think that's one of his, I don't know if I've already mentioned this, I think one of his best qualities is his intelligence. And in fact, I would say that's his best quality. is how intelligent he is. He's like these players that we call street smart. I don't know if you know what. Yeah, it's like these players who are very intelligent but very like street intelligent.
I understand what you mean.
Yeah, can maneuver out of situations because of how cheeky he is. So I think that's his best quality, and he's always adapted. When he started at Orlando Pirates had a very strong squad. There was a best player playing on the left. And I think one thing about him, he's always eager to learn. He's always eager to associate himself with people that he can learn from. And that's what he did when he started at Orlando Pirates. And it didn't take too long. He was already, the best player there because he's always learning, he's always developing. Having watched his game for over 3 years, I think the one thing I can really attribute to him is that he's smart, willing to learn, and always developing. So yeah, I do think it's a good match with Union, just with that philosophy of, young players, developing them, selling them on for a good price, and already preparing the replacement of. And I think he will learn a lot from the Brazilian left winger. And before you know it, he'll be better than the Mofokeng that you signed.
Yeah, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Because the majority of the young player who start at Union, they really improve their skills. After 1 or 2 years, they become even better. So I'm sure he will be even stronger, and he will acquire very good experience that can be used as well for him when he plays international games with the national team, with Bafana. So I think it's beneficial as well for the national team.
So something that I've been very curious about, Bruno, is how is it received by you as a Union fan yourself, other fans, when they go to the page of the club and they see this love for one player? Is it something that's concerning? Is it something that's funny to laugh about? How is it received?
It's funny in a positive way. What I mean by that, it's funny, not in a way making jokes about it. It's more funny. It's nice to see to see all these fans that are really, really enthusiastic about Mofokeng. And the admin or the community manager of Union is probably very, very happy because he had a lot of new followers.
Yeah.
But also a lot of comments to manage. I think it was already the case, maybe in let's say, not so much as now. But there was also such a kind of trend when Persito joined Union in the past. So maybe we are a little bit used to that. The only thing is that if one day Mofokeng is leaving Union, I hope the fans will stay and will continue to follow Union. And that the club will come into their heart and just not leave all the channels. People are very positive about it, and so the Union fans is a very positive community, very open to the other people. So we are happy to have all the South African fans joining the community.
That's awesome. I'll tell you why I ask. For me, it's just thinking that maybe it will cause unnecessary pressure on the player, and it can create maybe, with his teammates, I don't know, something like a jealousy with all the love on social media. But I'm glad if you don't think it's something that...
No, it will not happen. No, because, one of the value of the club and the players and everybody in the club is humility, meaning stay modest, stay humble, is one of the key value of the club. So there is not let's say, a profile of players who can be jealous or anything like this. It's not in the mindset of Union. Not at all. I think it's the opposite. When someone is getting very popular, I think the rest is happy for him. Not being jealous, but being happy because of this is happening.
Yeah.
So, and just a small anecdote before we come to the conclusion, but the club did organize a few weeks ago, before the start of the competition, a fan day.
Okay.
So where around the stadium, fans can come and can see the players getting like an autograph, take a picture with the player. I had the chance to meet him actually and to take a picture with him. So I was very happy, and I was also, it was nice to see that he's always smiling. He was very kind, very, very open, very simple. So it's really nice, a nice person. Beyond the player, he looks also as a very nice person. So that That's cool.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's one of the things that is another thing that's good about him as a character. He's a very jolly, wonderful, jovial kid. I think he's still young, so I still think of him as that kid who's always smiling, happy to play football, to, a moment with fans as well. He's not like, what do you call it, arrogant. I think, in
Exactly.
fact, I love this because this is also the DNA of Orlando Pirates as well. But high ambition, very ambitious, but humble. There's no like superstar in the club. You work as a collective, we win as a collective, we lose as a collective. So I think he's not going to struggle much in that regard. And I'm glad that you're already seeing that about him. And I think he's in a good environment at Union for his personal development as well. Maybe just like a short last question, Bruno, if you don't mind. I'm very curious about how things are going for him that side. How did you find the language barrier with him? Did you think it was easy to communicate with him? Do you think it would help him a lot to learn French? And then I have one more question after that.
I think he might learn French, but I don't think it's a must, because if he speaks English well enough, it's okay. In Belgium, a lot of people can speak more or less good English, and also in the team you have a lot of let's say non-Belgian players in the team. So I think anyway they all speak English together, so that's okay. That's okay. He doesn't need to speak French. No, I don't think so. So if he speaks English, it's perfect. Okay, so there will be no problem of integration into the team at all. Because we used to have in the past also players who didn't speak either nor English or French or nothing, where we needed a translator. But that's not the case. That's not the case for him. So I think it's okay. It will be good.
Okay, that's good. And then maybe lastly from my side, and you let me know if you have anything. How did you do you feel like he's already integrated? I know it's important for players, in my observation, to always have like a group of his brothers. Someone, maybe I know some clubs will organize that. Maybe will have you live with this family when you come to Belgium, just to help you integrate into the culture, know your way around the city and that sort of thing. I know you met him personally on the fun day, and you would have seen him interact with his teammates maybe and things of that nature. Have you heard anything about how he's integrating into life in Brussels, and who are his closest friends? Someone we can go and follow as South Africans on Instagram.
Well, I don't have a lot of information on his private life, to be fair. And when I met him, I didn't have the chance to talk very, very long. I just welcome him and say good luck at Union. I know that he's very close with the other African players. We've got in the team several players from Africa. One of them was called Mohammed Fuseini. I think they are close. They are quite close, because you might have heard of this incident where Fuseini have been attacked in Brussels, where several people tried to steal his watch, took him out of the car. Well, this incident was recorded, and it was recorded by Mofokeng. Actually, they were together, but he was a bit further away. He saw the scene, he took the picture, and thanks to the picture, the police has been able to recognize and identify, and they've all the five have been caught. So I think he's probably already quite a close friend with Mohammed Fuseini.
That's awesome. Yeah, I'm going to go on my Instagram. I'm going to go on my Instagram and encourage other South Africans to go and follow Fuseini.
He's a good player as well. He's a striker, very, very fast.
Yeah.
And probably, I hope they will play a lot together as well, because I think they can be very, very good together. But I don't have a lot of more insights on his private life. And just before we close, maybe you can tell what's the name of your channel, so my followers can also follow your channel.
Yeah, the name of my channel, well, I'm part of two channels. The channel that I started was Talking Buccaneers, but I've since also created a second channel which I'm more active on now. It's just my name, Fumane. It's Fumane. Okay. Yeah, it's Fumane. If you use it's @official Fumane. But on YouTube, if you just search Fumane. On Instagram, it's @official Fumane, and on TikTok, all of these kind of places. Yeah, that's if they're excited to hear about what's happening at Orlando Pirates, and that's where they can find me. Thank you, Bruno.
You're welcome. Yeah. Thank you, Fumane. It was very insightful what you explained about Mofokeng. Anyway, we will keep up in touch in the future. And might be interesting maybe within 6 months, 1 year to see the progress and then to talk about it in the new episode together.
Yes, 100%. I thoroughly enjoyed chatting to you, Bruno. You are a really, really great gentleman. It's been fun chatting to you. Thank you for having me on. Thank you for responding to my DM on Instagram very quickly. I really appreciate that. And thank you for your insights as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure sending South Africans who will be curious to hear how it's going that side for Mofokeng to your channel as well. I do follow your channel, so I know where people can find you. So I'll send them there to firstly show some love from South Africa, but also to hear your insight.
Thank you. That's very kind of you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Bruno.